to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. This episode is the trial of Tyler. Welcome to the trial of Tyler Milliken, who was found guilty and turned himself in. First of all, I want to step up with some accountability here because I let this happen. I'm an accomplice.
Jake, you too.
I'm going to this is not Jake's job.
Jake was there. He didn't speak up.
That's not his job. It's my job. As a leader, I would like to show some accountability here. It's my fault that I picked Tyler to be on this podcast. It's my fault. It's my fault. Yes, it's my fault because that directly led to Tyler being suspended for jinxing the Boston Red Sox by picking a sweep. And then that suspension was just carelessly, directly, purposefully ignored. And going into the Oakland A's series, Tyler Milliken picked another sweep. And people are sitting there saying, Jared, why didn't you stop him? You should have stopped him. And I said, listen, Tyler's an adult. If he wants to break the law, that's a choice. Who am I to try and stop him from doing that? It's not a rule or a law that was put in place by me, rather the people. The listeners of this podcast put that suspension in place, and Tyler said, "You know what? I'm going sweep anyway," and he broke the law. So this is the trial of Tyler episode, where we will be joined by none other than Patrick James Light. The return of Business Pat is upon us as the Red Sox have dropped 2 out of 3 to the Oakland Athletics, the worst team in Major League Baseball history. They lost a series to this team, and I know people want to get upset about not capitalizing on some mistakes in that series finale. People want to come at certain pitchers for not getting the job done in the middle game. I understand all that. Brian Bayo, the day-night stats, people are talking about that out there. None of that is relevant. This all falls on Tyler Milliken, who broke his suspension, which directly caused all of this. So before we start the trial of Tyler, because Pat is on a business call, obviously, he's on a business call right now. He will be joining us once he gets off his business call. I will give Tyler a chance to make an opening statement. But before we do that, I just also want to say, when we are joined by Pat Light, part of Tyler's punishment is that he had to come up with 10 business ideas for Business Pat, which he will be presenting. Also, the fate of Tyler Milliken and his disciplinary action will also be determined by Business Pat when he joins us later in the program. But for now, the opening statement, Tyler Milliken, belongs to you.
I'm going through it, clearly. The reaction I've seen in the last 24 hours or so has been painful. I saw some people really starting it on Tuesday night. It really wasn't even yesterday. That immediately, once the first game was lost, like, they could not help but speak on it and say, look what's already happening. I know what's going to happen. I remember what's happened when you've picked these sweeps before. I didn't want to believe them. I sat there and I was like, yeah, I broke the law, but, you know, maybe they take 2 out of 3 and people will let it go. The vibes have been good. I can slip by. Clearly, the Red Sox did not. And I'm in some serious trouble here. I'm not here to say I was right for what I did or that, you know, people make mistakes or anything like that, because I know what I did. I know the power that comes with these picks. Mm-hmm. And all I can do is ask forgiveness in this dark moment and say, I'm sorry. I need to be better. I'm mature. I'm an adult. I tweeted it, I think, immediately after the game. I'm turning myself in. I'm not running from the law. I don't want to fucking die. I realize these people, they will come. They will take me down if I'm not ready to kneel before you. So all I can ask for is forgiveness.
Wow. Jake, what do you think?
I think there's something to be said for turning yourself in, but at the end of the day, he still fucked us, so he deserves everything that's coming to him.
There needs to be, you know, I'm not looking to dish blame or pass blame along because I'm a noble guy. But there needs to be some accountability from others as well here. And I appreciate you starting to speak up, Jared. I'd appreciate it if Jake took a little bit, just a little percentage. I think the Red Sox as well, losing to a minor league baseball team, it'd be nice if they took some accountability too.
Jake, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, it's all Tyler's fault.
Okay, I agree. Okay. All right, let's while we wait for Patrick to join us here on this episode, let's talk about this series that Tyler lost for the Boston Red Sox. It started off great. It started off awesome. I had my feet up. I was talking all this shit to Dallas on Twitter. I was hoping he was going to get ejected from one of the games. Paulie punch outs on the mound in his 5.5 ERA. You got Nick Pivetta breaking Red Sox records coming out of the bullpen, 6 innings, no hits, 13 strikeouts out of the bullpen. That's a Red Sox record for a reliever in a single game. The Bernardino Nick Pivetta combo. I see a lot of people saying, oh, how do you not put Nick Pivetta in the rotation after this? You got to put him back in the rotation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, the one thing that drives me crazy about the put Pivetta back in the rotation people is that they don't see he's in the rotation. When it's his day to pitch, he pitches as long as a starter does. Who fucking cares? If Bernardino wants to get you the first 6 outs, great, we'll take it, because then Nick Pivetta is going to get you to the 8th.
And the other thing I'd throw in there, it's like with Nick Pivetta, I know some people are like, well, immediately throw him back in the rotation in that sense. It's like, Alex Cora's told you the last couple of years, it's more between the ears than it's ever been ability with Nick Pivetta. We all agree on that. We've said it a million times. We said it when he got kicked from the rotation to the bullpen. It's always about him kind of attacking hitters and being as aggressive, being the same guy, every 5 days when he would take the mound. For whatever reason, he wasn't able to do that as a starter, and he struggled to do that. Cora says, at some point, there's going to be a period where they can't afford to do this, most likely, where he's going to have to start, sure. But they're going to keep him in this role because whatever it is, when he comes out of the bullpen, when he walks through those bullpen doors, it makes him more aggressive. He's not pitching to the corners. He's not nibbling. He's going right after. Is the stuff dramatically different? No, he's pitching 6 innings. The stuff isn't playing up ridiculous or anything. At first we saw him sitting 96, 97. That's not the case. He's airing it out the same way he would as a starter at this point. It just seems to be more of a mentality thing. And with Bernardino, who's been such a ridiculous find, 2.27 ERA on the year, 2.97 FIP. Why not run something that's working for as long as you can? There's no reason to go away from it. If you need to, when you don't have days lined up like you do the next couple weeks, sure. For now, keep running the same system, because we've seen Nick Pivetta, when he goes into that starter routine, he loses the same pitching mentality. He's not aggressive. He doesn't trust in his stuff the same way. I don't know. Blame that on Pivetta. Say maybe you think he can figure that out if he goes back out there starting. I don't know. But they're not going to push that limit until they're forced to.
I'm going to ask you a question. I feel like I might know the answer, but it's been posed after this Nick Pivetta performance. Do you trade him?
I think it's a fair conversation to be had because the stock is just as high as it's ever going to be. And, maybe some other teams who haven't dealt with Nick Pivetta are like, oh, well, we either can get him to start and we think, maybe something's unlocked here, or he can just be this nasty reliever that we lean on, which is so big down the stretch. I'd take calls. I'd put it like that. If someone's willing to offer you something ridiculous, sure, let's do it, because if everything goes right, you should have John Schreiber coming back starting next week. At some point, Tanner Houck's coming back, Garrett Whitlock. There's conversations to be had, especially, who knows how they view Whitlock moving forward, but is it a Houck that they say, and all right, we push him into the bullpen, Schreiber's back, we don't need a Nick Pivetta as much as we needed before. But with the current state of their pitching staff, it's a big ask. But relief options like that, yeah, I'll take the call. The Red Sox should be. It all depends on the next 7 or 8 days, though. Sam Kennedy said it again today. These games mean everything. It's just, you got to listen. If someone's going to throw something stupid at you, you should probably take advantage of it, because the bullpen is really where you have depth on this team.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're a team in contention right now and you see what Nick Pivetta is doing, why wouldn't you want Nick Pivetta on your team? Like, Nick Pivetta, since moving to the bullpen, I tweeted out the numbers yesterday.
I have them in front of me. You want them?
The 4th best strikeouts per 9 in the big leagues since moving to the bullpen. The best ERA on the staff, 2.31 ERA with 52 strikeouts in 35 innings. Opponents are hitting $1.25 with a 4.52 OPS. 4th in the big leagues in strikeouts per 9, 13.37. And again, the lowest ERA on the Red Sox, minimum 30 innings pitched. Like, for all the talk about Nick Pivetta, oh, get him off the team, get him out of the rotation, shit attitude, get the fuck out of here, this and that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he took this role change in stride, because at first I don't think he did. We all heard the quotes. We played him on the show. He was like, fuck this, I'm a starter. He gets moved to the bullpen where he basically is still a starter. It's almost like a psychology change. It's like, yeah, like we're going to move you to the bullpen, but you're still a starter, kind of. Like that's what he's doing.
And it's a little weird because like more recently it's been that starter role, right? Where he's starting to go deeper and deeper. They've got him stretched out to just about 90 pitches. But we did see when he was in that relief role for a good stretch, he did buy in. And all I can say is when he was in Philly, he didn't buy in. He went out there and he fucking kept pouting. At least this time around, he went out there and he lived up to it. And he said, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. And you look at Nick Pivetta, what's another thing that makes him more valuable? He's not a free agent until 2025. So you are talking about someone who's more than a rental. So if there is a team out there that's like, hey, we'll throw you a little bit more extra. And maybe this is a way, if you hold on to a Paxton, if you really want to walk this buy-sell deadline, you can get a probably decent chip for Nick Pivetta and say, well, we're going to hold on to some of these other pieces. Let's steal from our depth. Hopefully some of these starters come back. Maybe they say, we're going to go trade for that Michael Lorenzen. We're going to go get a Rich Hill, someone who can fill that role and then still put us in a spot where, we're getting a nice prospect back, maybe not what you'd get out of a Paxton or something, but we can say, all right, well, this guy can still help us later on in the season as well. Someone like Rich Hill or whatever it is. It really doesn't take away from the team in a massive way where you're dramatically changing their ceiling.
I also saw one of the Reddit threads saying that we're being negative by saying that the Red Sox should sell some of these pieces. I don't think it's being negative at all. I think if you're a Red Sox fan and you're sitting there telling yourself, why would we sell off pieces? Like, we're in it. It's not enough to be in it. Like if you're holding on to some of these veteran rental pieces because you would only do that in hopes of going for it this year, you're telling me that you think the Red Sox have a chance to win the World Series this year? Like, are you being real with yourself right now? Because I don't believe that. I don't think that you deep down believe that. I think that, if you're one of those Red Sox fans who, your heart is in it every single year and it's not over till it's over, until they're mathematically eliminated, fine. Like, I respect the passion, but objectively speaking, if you're going to look at this team right now and tell me that they're capable of winning a World Series, I'm going to say that you're a fucking idiot. Like, they're not like as constructed. And I don't think that there's a move out there where you can go and pick up this guy here, that guy there with the assets that you have and then be like, boom, now we go. Like, now it's a World Series contender. You're not close to being the best team in the league. You're not close to being the best team in your division. Even for like the teams that are in the wild card race, like right now, like obviously the Red Sox don't hold a playoff spot, but if we were to bring up the teams right now that are currently holding, are you better than the Rays? No.
Nope.
Are you better than the Blue Jays? You've played better than them. Are you better than the Astros? Well, the Astros have had a lot of injuries, and that's the only team. You're in front right now. Like, there's no team that you have to leapfrog to get to that third spot. The Astros hold the third wild card, and then it's the Red Sox, 2.5 games back. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Red Sox can't make the postseason. I think that they can make the postseason, but I can't sit here and tell you that this team is capable of winning a championship. I think if they played the Atlanta Braves in the World Series, that they would get fucking swept. They might win a game just by accident, but like, they're not on that level right now. So I think it would be a real misfire to hold on to a James Paxton in hopes of going for it this year, to hold on to a Nick Pivetta being like, oh yeah, this is a piece that we can use for what? I don't know. Like, I don't think that that's being negative. I think it's like, I'm being realistic about this year's team and seeing the path to a championship somewhere in the near future. But you're only doing yourself a disadvantage by thinking that you have a shot this year when you don't. Like, it should be championship or bust. Like, I know that other organizations, like say last year, if you're the Seattle Mariners and you have the same exact roster as the Red Sox and it's the same chase, it's like, we haven't been in the playoffs in fucking 20 years. Like, are we going to punt when we're 2.5 games back? Like, the Red Sox are not a postseason starved franchise. No, like, it's champion. Like, the Red Sox have done a great job of making the expectation championship or bust. And when it's not a championship, it's like, we're not the happy to be their postseason team. We're just not. But let's hold that thought. Get that winning feeling from the gridiron to the diamond and beyond with DraftKings Sportsbook. With money lines, props, parlays, and more, you can bet your favorite sports and take a shot at huge wins. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance, opt-in, and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. I said hold that thought, Tyler, because we are now joined by none other than one Patrick James Light. It's good to see you, Pat.
Good to be here.
Welcome back.
How long has it been?
Too long.
Too long.
Some would say
Forever.
egregiously long.
It's been a while. I feel like it was.
Some would say you've been missing for far too long to to the point where the show has needed you. We've needed Pat Light. We've longed for Pat Light. We've craved Pat Light, and now we're getting Pat Light, and it's today.
Listen, here we are.
Here we are.
We're excited.
What have you been up to?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Like
excited
what,
for
business?
Tyler's list.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, ton of business. Only business. I don't think I've done anything besides business for I don't know how long now. Months.
Years.
Years.
Is there any way we
yeah.
can turn up Pat Light, Jake, or is that on Pat's end?
That's on Pat.
Pat,
How do I
let's
do
get
that?
a little gain. Let's get a little bass in that voice over there.
It is, according to the right side of my screen, it is max volume.
But I think you want to go gain.
Yeah, but there's only one little nozzle here. Yeah, there's not multiple things to do.
On the
Turn
microphone?
it harder, Pat.
No.
What is it connected to?
Computer.
Oh, okay. Why is he so low?
This is like how it always was, or am I tripping?
I think Tyler might be right.
You're just
Jake,
always low?
Isn't this what it used to sound like?
Yeah, he was usually a little low.
Oh, well, he's super low. All right. Well, as long as it comes out great for the listeners at home, which is what this is about.
That's what it's
I
always
feel
about.
like, Pat Light's always at Green Rock. He's at McSwilbo's. He's at Big Sam Sushi. And the listeners of this podcast will come up to Pat Light no matter where he is, and they'll say one thing. Hey, when are you coming back on the Name Redacted podcast? To which we didn't know. People would ask me, hey, when's Pat Light coming back on? Don't know. But today is that day. And, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that Tyler's such a fucking idiot, because Pat Light was going to come on anyway. Talk to Pat Light on the phone about business. It was a business call. Yep.
You talking to me?
Yeah. You're Pat Light.
Me and Tyler were going to talk, did you say?
No. I said we talked on the phone like about a week ago, and it was about business.
Yes,
Get
a
it
lot
together,
of business.
Pat.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
a lot of
so
listen. Can I start something real quick? Tyler
please.
his attitude that I've heard thus far on the show has been it's not. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't
early,
either.
he used to be a respectful man. Now all of a sudden, I've been on the show for what, fucking 3 minutes, and he's saying,
Yeah.
"Get it together, Pat."
You know
Right.
why, Pat? Because I remember how you left. I
You know,
remember your final
Remember
moments.
where you came from, Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay, remember your roots. Damn it.
Yeah, he's getting too
Jesus.
big for his britches. He really is.
He's getting snippy.
gonna be
Fuck
hosting.
all you guys.
He's going to be You're on trial right now, so I would watch what you say. You're on
All right.
record right now.
You know what? I put my hands up. Maybe I'm a little cranky. I want this to be a fair trial. I want to be held responsible, but
Oh, it's going to be a
good
very
light.
biased trial against you.
I'm a good man. I'm an honest, good man.
Well, we're going to find
snippy
out.
is what we are.
Just know, like what I said at the beginning of the podcast, Pat Light determines your fate. I have nothing to do with what your punishment is.
Patrick, we go way back. Pat,
Yeah,
look at me.
Just
Fernando Abad. I remember you at AA.
I remember that's when you were a nice Tyler. Right now, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to give you the max length of whatever I need to give you because this is unacceptable behavior from what I consider a friend.
You left me with them. You left me with these people and what they've done to me in the months since you left, Pat.
Listen,
they've done this to me.
What I can tell you is that since I've been on the pod for 3.5 minutes, Jared and Jake have been nothing but respectful. That's what I know.
Listen,
you're falling for it.
I love Pat Light. I've been literally, for ever since Pat Light left the podcast, I've been tweeting nothing but positive things about you.
Well,
what?
Let's not get carried away. Okay,
what?
we're getting carried away now.
Have I not said positive things about you?
You have what you have said, and listen, we're just going to call a spade here, Jared. What you have done is said, if I wasn't a good friend, this is what I would say, and then say it.
Yeah, but I didn't say it. I'm just giving the example of what I would say if I wasn't a good friend, but because I am, I don't say it.
But you do say it. You just don't. You're pretending you're not saying it by saying, I would never say such a thing.
I'm gonna pull up the tweet in my defense because now this
There's
is
several.
slander, and
this is good, Jared. Read these tweets. Get me.
There's several.
Pat, I don't approve of any of them. I think these are all hateful and mean.
I appreciate it, Tyler.
He tweets mean things at me now.
No, I don't.
What'd you say about my calorie intake?
It's a little high.
Pat, how many calories do you think I eat a day?
2,000.
Yep. Maybe that's a little high, actually, for me. Little, maybe closer to 15.
So this was a video of, it looks like the Cleveland Guardians versus the Kansas City Royals, and there seems to be a comebacker to the pitcher here who airmails the throw to the catcher, and the run scores. And I said, if I were mean, I would say something about how this reminds me of Pat Light, but he's one of my best friends, so I wouldn't say that, and I hope no one else says anything like that either. So not only did I not say it, but I discouraged anyone else from saying it.
No, but you said it.
But I didn't.
You
but
said
you did.
No, what you wouldn't just ever send that tweet. That's not saying it. Like Jake and Tyler, for example, didn't say it. Although Jake, I have a bone to pick with him too, which I told Jared on the phone. Which I did. I think I told actually you too, Jake, via text, that you made some type of remark about me and made fun of me in some type of show. Jake, as people, named redacted people, know, he is the producer of the show, so the clip is produced by him. He specifically produced the clip that once I got made fun of, went to him, showing him laughing at me. He did that intentionally. He didn't have to do that. He did it so that I would see that he was laughing at me, and I don't appreciate that.
There was another tweet that was very nice of me. This was back when I was beefing with Matt Strom, who tweeted at me and said, no Major League Baseball player sucks at baseball. End of story. And I said, if I'm apologizing to anyone today, it's to my dear friend Pat Light, who got dragged into a tweet beef unprovoked and was unjustly tagged in this tweet at least 100 times. It's not right. Pat was a great Major League pitcher. To me, he was. So I think since you've left, yes, as noted here, I've tweeted about you several times, but it's always been complimentary.
Listen, we have difference of opinions. All I know is that over the last 6 months, and I barely tweeted over the last 6 months. Anytime I went to Twitter randomly to go see what's happening in the world, and see what my good friend Jared, Tyler, and Jake are up to, anytime I went to Twitter and I saw I had like 20 plus notifications, I was like, Jesus Christ, Jared, what did you say this time?
Well,
and sure enough, it was, Pat, you have been mentioned in a tweet by Jared Carabas. And I was like, this fucking guy.
I got to apologize for this because this was out of line.
Okay, let's.
Would you if you had an 18 ERA?
Yes, it's the law of averages. You're going to go down.
You would think that. It's a better ERA than what Pat Light was sporting. Good friend of mine, Pat Light, former Red Sox reliever.
What did he have?
Terrible pitcher. It was like 27, something like that.
You didn't even like try to, make that one. Like if I was going to say it, you just straight up said it.
Yeah, but all right. So can we at least note that I called Pat one of my best friends, which is true. I consider Pat one of my best friends in the world.
Yes, we can do that. We have to also note that you said, and I quote, he's a terrible pitcher. Can we acknowledge that?
So I think the bright lights got to me there. I think that that's something that if given the opportunity, I would take it back. And I'll be in the booth tomorrow night. I'll be on the broadcast for the game tomorrow night, Friday. And if given the opportunity, I'm going to say something nice about Pat Light. I'm just going to be like, you know what? Like, I know that you guys just asked me about the Cape League and the Bourne Braves, but I'd like to take this time to publicly apologize to Pat Light and just note that he's one of my best friends. And if you're in the Hoboken area, please go to Green Rock and McSwilbo's and Big Sam Sushi.
Thank you. I would greatly appreciate that. I also want to note, I look forward to hearing that clip, by the way.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. But I also want to make note that you said you overestimated my ERA with the Red Sox by four runs. You didn't just do it by a small margin. It was 23. Thank you.
Okay.
And also, with what you were discussing on the broadcast, the law of averages happened to me, dickface.
Yeah, it did.
I was at 23, and at the end of my career, I dropped it by 12 runs. I'm at the end of 11. So
there you go.
If I listen, I mean, we're really talking statistics here. I played 2 months in the big leagues. Based off of how my ERA was working, you give me an additional 12 months, or an additional 2 months in the show, I'm trending towards a negative ERA.
That's called people don't give you credit for being one of the most improved relievers of our generation.
People don't. No one talks about that enough.
No, they don't.
Most improved.
This tweet from March, I called Pat Light to wish him a happy birthday, but he didn't answer. So I guess this tweet will have to do. Bet he was in a business meeting. Stupid of me to even call. All hours are business hours when you're business Pat. Happy birthday, my friend. That's a nice tweet.
Great tweet. One of the nicer ones you've ever done.
Yeah. So I mean, I just feel like I've been painted in a bad light here.
I think we have dissected it and seen that it's rightfully so.
Nah. This one is kind of complimentary. This is when the Rockies selected Fernando Abad.
Uh-huh.
And I quote tweeted it and I said, it is truly outrageous that the guy the Red Sox traded Pat Light for is still playing Major League Baseball. Granted, it's the Rockies, but still, he's in the show. Well, Pat Light is taking private jets to the Kentucky Derby and having pool party business meetings in Miami. That's a compliment. That's like saying this guy has to play for the Rockies and like they kind of suck and like he sucks. You're having business meeting pool parties in Miami.
So much more fun.
So much more fun.
So much more fun. I much prefer. I'd actually, who would be a good guy to bring on the show is Fernando Abad. This motherfucker has probably seen my name so many fucking times. He's like, who is this guy that got traded from me?
Yeah. Literally like what, 7 years ago?
Yeah. 2016. Yeah. 8 years ago. Oh yeah. 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Almost the anniversary.
Yeah. August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Or July 3rd.
There you go.
Whatever the, I'm pretty sure it was August 1st.
I think it was, unless you were like a waiver. I don't know.
Does it have to happen on the last day of July?
July 31st used to be the trade deadline. Maybe it was before that. That makes sense.
It was definitely on the day. So whatever day that was.
August 1st, 2016.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I thought.
There you go. August 1st. People are going to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, not celebrate. It's more like mourning.
Mm.
Like that was a sad day for me.
It was a sad day for a lot of people.
I cried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tyler cried. He's like, oh, I watched you with the Sea Dogs.
I was a buyer in Pat Light. I did not want to see Pat Light go.
I was too. I would love to dig up the footage from the baseball show on NBC Sports where I just gushed about Pat Light. He hadn't been called up yet. I was just like, this guy throws 100. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it sounds very similar to your Caleb Ort take. I hate to be that guy.
Do you hate to be that guy, Tyler?
I'm just calling how I see it.
Yeah. Well, enough being buddy with Tyler. It's time for him to pay for his war crimes.
Me and Pat are bonding. We haven't seen each other.
No, we didn't. Okay. So I came up with this idea where Tyler Milliken, as part of his punishment, this is only part of it because Pat is still going to have, to the full extent of the law, be able to give you a punishment for what you've done. I guess my punishment that I enforced on you was that you have to give Pat Light your 10 best business ideas. And then on top of that, we blamed you for the podcast being late. We said that you needed more time to come up with the ideas when really it was, I wanted to go to AEW with Jimmy Stewart last night. So listen, hand up. I'm not going to let you wear that one. If people are mad that the podcast is late, it's because I went to AEW last night with Jimmy Stewart and I didn't get back until like midnight because I went to Kowloon after. So it really wasn't because Tyler needed extra time, but he did, in fairness, take time. Like this wasn't like a Pat's Picks where Pat just pulled it out of his ass and put zero effort into the segment. This is something where Tyler absolutely sat down, thought about these ideas. And Pat, how do you want to do this? Like if you like the idea, I feel like it's almost like you should legally get the rights to use it. And if it works out, you don't owe a dime to Tyler.
No, I want the check. Write the check right now while we're sitting here.
No.
He gets nothing.
No. Yeah,
These
you
are
get
my
nothing.
ideas.
Yeah, if Pat likes the idea, he gets to use it. You don't get cut in.
No.
Well, he can consider it, but he's gonna say no.
I'll consider it, and I just considered it. No. Thank you.
Would you consider taking me on just as a manager or someone who can help run these businesses? Not in an ownership stake, but
you can pay
just
him
bring
like
me
hourly.
around. Yeah, that's it. I just want to be an
minimum wage.
employee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen, we could have that conversation. Maybe $5-6 an hour. I think it'd be fair.
Yeah. Plus tip.
Honestly,
Plus tip.
not bad.
Plus tip. Plus tip.
Plus tip. I take a piece of your tips, but yeah, plus tip.
Yeah. Plus. Yeah. Pat gets 80% of your tips.
Mm-hmm. Jared gets 10. Jake gets 5. You get the last 5.
Listen, with these ideas, I think we're going to make a lot of money.
All right. Okay. So, Tyler, without further ado, we're going to have Jake do the Blue Moon ad read to shit on you just one more time before we get into these business ideas. Jake, if you so could, please tell the good folks at home about Blue Moon.
Yeah, before Tyler embarrasses himself in front of Pat, let's talk some Blue Moon. Playoffs are just around the corner, so it's time to help your team out by sticking to your lucky rituals, like the ritual of enjoying an ice-cold Blue Moon while the game is on. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition whether you're at the park or watching from home. Tyler's about to do enough damage to himself in these business ideas, so let's just breeze past through this and get right to it. Oh, and if you haven't cracked a Blue Moon yet, I'd do so right about now. Because with its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something one-of-a-kind? Its bold flavor, bright color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantee a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color, a beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon. But you can enjoy it all season long. Brighten up your baseball traditions with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
Thank you, Jake. As always, you do a fantastic job. Someone on this podcast has to. Tyler, your 10. Did you just fucking sneeze, dude?
I coughed. This is like being on Shark Tank. I'm on Shark Tank right now.
Are you nervous?
But Pat's richer. Pat's richer than ever. All of them. So come on.
Nervous?
This is my chance to free my family from poverty.
Okay. All right. Proceed. 10 business ideas for. Wait, before we do this, Pat, do you want like theme music? What kind of music do you want to be playing in the background right now?
Have you seen Shark Tank, Jared? It's like a very almost like a daunting bam 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 stuff like that. Something like that. Do something like that.
Okay. Shark Tank theme. Is there a Shark Tank theme? Is this it? That's not it, right?
You also
that's not it at all.
And you're definitely
There's gonna be.
I mean, Jake, aren't we? Isn't this podcast too big? You're definitely gonna get a copyright claim for clips of this.
This is the Home Depot theme.
It's Home Depot.
I kind of like it.
Is this? Well, that's not it either. I don't know.
It's a trap beat. You want me to freestyle?
Yeah, hit him with some bar ideas. I feel like we should. All right, Home Depot. Back to Home
That
Depot.
wasn't even a beat, dude. Someone was already rapping.
All right, go to Home Depot. All right, go ahead.
Okay, number 1. Tyler's Pet Execution Services.
Execution?
Yes, execution services. At a young age, I killed my first dog. As someone who's already carried that burden in life.
He died.
Yeah, he did.
As someone who's already carried that burden in life, I'm willing to kill your pets too. I don't kill, well alive animals. I don't kill healthy pets. But if your pet's on the way out or he needs to go, I will step in and get the job done.
Do you make it seem like an accident?
No,
Like you did with
no.
Bullet?
It's very fast and quick. You're dying instantly, just like Bullet.
Okay, Pat, thoughts?
Well, your background. You said you've done this before.
Yeah, my
his
first dog. I killed my first dog.
How did you kill your first dog?
I let the dog out and the car ran into an intersection and died.
Interesting. How much do you charge for this service?
Depends on the weight of the dog.
Depends on the weight. You charge by weight.
Yes. Well, how much effort I'm going to have to put into, it's not just dogs too. I'll kill anything.
And so wait, so the way to how are you're putting how much effort? How are you gonna kill them? Are you tackling them and strangling the dog?
It's whatever I'm in the mood for that day, but the job will get done. That's all that matters. The pet will die.
The pet will die.
We also offer packages if, afterwards you can get a paw print or a piece of hair or a picture. I'll paint a picture of the incident. It's whatever the owner wants.
You're going to paint a picture for a family that wants their dog dead.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, I don't know where the market is for this and how many people need this. But it seems like a high profit margin. I mean, we don't have much overhead. It's just you. So.
Yeah. It's a one-man business. It's very niche, but I'm willing to, somebody has to do the dirty work.
Very niche. Very niche. Yeah,
very niche.
I'm be interested in adding that to the portfolio. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's a thumbs up.
Let's go. Do you need another one?
Yeah, I need all of them.
Okay. Dog self-defense class. So my dog, in Shark Tank, they'll tell stories about how their business got inspired. A couple years ago, my puppy Samantha was attacked. In this class, we teach dogs how to fight back against other dogs so that if they are jumped or attacked, they can fight off the other dog and survive and not be hurt. So it hits very close to home to me. We haven't exactly figured out the class or the teachings, but our dogs will fight other dogs and make sure they don't lose.
So let me get this straight. You have this idea. You have no idea how to execute the plan. But here's the idea.
Yeah, listen, I'm a fighter. I trust I can get my dogs not to lose to other dogs if they are attacked or challenged. This isn't a dog fighting thing. This is only if they are attacked. They will be trained.
Okay. Well, at the risk of making sure that I don't act like Michael Vick, I pass on this. And for that reason, I'm out.
That's good. That's a good call.
All right. Whatever.
Idea number 3.
In traffic takeout. Have you ever been driving home and you've been stuck in traffic? You've been starving. You wish you could have your favorite meal. Well, this allows you to get food delivered to you while you sit in traffic. I drive from Waltham to Brockton every single day. Well, hey, we can drop the food off to you so you can get your meal out of the way and continue to be productive.
So this is a problem you face a lot.
Every day.
Every day you are going home hungry. Why don't you get
starving?
Food? Why don't you prepare for this? Why don't you get food before you leave?
Well, this is for people who don't have time to do that. You're hungry and you're sitting. What are you going to do?
How are you going to get the food to people? They're in traffic.
Helicopter. We're hiring 3
I thought you were
private
gonna
helicopters.
Go bicycle would probably be more cost efficient and maybe faster, but we went helicopter there.
You're gonna rent out 3 private helicopters at probably $2,000 an hour, and you're going to deliver regular restaurants food for how much fucking money?
It's going to be a decent cut. You definitely have to be making money to do this, but I know you have a helicopter guy. I know who I'm talking to here. So I'm hoping that we can make this happen. It's quick for pizza or whatever it is. Yeah, that's not super expensive food, but this isn't super expensive living.
Yeah, just a $500 slice of pizza.
Yeah, I mean minimum.
That's a good business model.
You have to, but even at the $500 on a single slice, you got to do at least 4 on one trip just to book the helicopter.
Well,
just
our
break
big
even.
selling point is how fast we get the food to you. It happens very quickly.
Okay. Well, listen. Maybe bicycle would have been more, like Jared said, a more cost efficient and something that we might have been interested in. With 3 private helicopters ready that we're paying for, I think we need this work needs a little bit more work.
So it's a no?
Yes, firm no.
I think it's more of a maybe. We just got to workshop it a little bit.
Yeah, we need he's an idea guy, but he doesn't really have down pat right now.
No, not yet.
All right.
Idea number 4.
Idea number 4, uncrustable socks. Everyone has their favorite pair of socks or wears socks all the time. Sometimes you get liquid inside of them. You step in something, they get crusty and weird. I've been designing a new form of laundry syrup that can ensure that your socks will never get wet, crusty, covered in different colors of stuff or whatever it may be. Everyone needs a pair of socks like that in life. Are you into it?
Okay, I am unfamiliar with this problem. I don't have crust. I never got crusty socks, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about with this. So I mean, Jared, Jake, are you guys familiar with this issue?
I'll be honest. I haven't really come across a crusty sock issue in my lifetime. But I guess the problem exists out there somewhere.
Jake, do you have any experience of this?
No, my socks are usually fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, we've
Hey,
pulled.
listen, wait. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt here, but no one's ever stepped in something wet here. These socks will ensure your feet don't stay wet.
You can just put it in the dryer.
Yeah, well, listen, after I wear my socks to the gym, which they get a little sweaty, right? I put them in the hamper and I wash them, and then the next time I wear them, they're great. So I'm not familiar with this issue, nor are my counterparts here. So yeah, we're gonna pass. Thank you though. Ooh, like that.
Okay, we're not on to the strongest start.
Nope.
It's okay though. I'm not gonna get
What number is
scared or anything like that. We're on to
This is
number
number
5
5?
here.
Yeah.
Number 5. This is a simple one, and I think this might be my best one. Top golf, but baseball. Right now, many people say, "Well, that's batting cages, right?" We are. Are you kidding me?
I just feel like people like Jordan Chikeli tweeted about this recently, and people were like, "That's called a fucking batting cage," and she got absolutely roasted for it. I see the vision. Go ahead, give us your vision for it, because I mean, Top Golf for baseball is literally just a batting cage. But go ahead.
All I'm saying is every time you've gone to a batting cage, they don't have good food. They don't have good snacks. Part of the best part about Top Golf is, the desserts and the different things they can bring you here. Well, hey, at this place, we got pizza, we got buffalo tenders, we got whatever you want. And it's in a cool party-like environment, and we're going to have a nice setup. This isn't your dad's batting cage that is just, a big metal tent. We're going to have the green monster up there so you can hit homers off of it with you and your buddies. What is more fun than that? You get to pretend to be a Red Sox player that day.
I don't hate it. It's going to take a serious investment, but if you could get some, because the one thing that batting cages don't have is that like super high arcing, like where you see the hit and like you would see.
We got launch angle.
Yeah, you see this shit. If you could somehow get a facility large enough where you'd almost have like different types of fields, like where you could hit it Wrigley, you could hit it Fenway, they had a bunch of different places with this big
This already
setup.
exists.
It already exists?
Yep.
Where does it exist?
Literally, if you go to like a Dick's Sporting Goods and you want to test out your bat, you can go in there and hit off the tee. And it's got all the different ballparks. You can do that.
But I'm talking about like, actually like some type of real scenario. You can do that at Golf Galaxy too for golf. It's the same thing.
There's no alcohol there. Pat, I know you like that.
I love
You basically want to get Rapsodo and combine it with a bar and a batting cage.
One of the greatest ideas ever.
No, so I'm out on that. I think are you talking about Top Golf or a golf simulator?
No, this is
You're talking about baseball.
We're gonna hit baseballs.
Yeah, so you're hitting baseballs, but are you hitting it out like where Top Golf has this huge field of? Yeah. So that if you can replicate Top Golf where you're doing that in different types of ballparks where you're actually hitting like in a real type of scenario, not just a batting cage where you're just going and you're just hitting into fucking nothingness and into the net within fucking 20 feet it goes in the air. You might have a huge investment though that required, and it's gonna be pretty it's gonna be a loser for a long time before you actually turn a profit. But it's your actual. I'll give you this: in the first 5 things, it's your actually only possible business.
What do you mean? The first one? I thought you said yes.
Yeah, listen, I animal execution, probably not an insurance great thing for me. So listen, I was being nice. Let's be real. And then the other 3 were firm no's. So this is the one that has any type of legs if you got some serious financial backers.
I think what you should do, because if you're going to do it like Top Golf, where you hit the balls out into a big area, juice the baseballs. Because if you have people that are like, well, I don't play baseball and I can't hit a ball. It's like, all right, yeah, but if you just put the bat on the ball, it's like it's going to go 500 feet. Like, that's cool. Yeah,
and the way Top Golf does it, those golf clubs, it's like the whole thing's a sweet spot. It's impossible to miss hit the damn golf ball. Every time I've only gone to Top Golf once or twice, and every time I leave, I feel like I'm fucking Tiger Woods. And then I go to use my real clubs, and it's never good. So if you can figure out a way to make it fun, drink, enjoy yourself, I think it could work.
Steroids.
Give people
That's
steroids,
fine too. We can offer steroids at the door. We'll inject you with whatever you'd like.
Well, okay. Now we're talking insurance again here. So
Insurance.
we pull back here. But the first start, you have a decent idea.
Okay, let's go with the safer option for number 6.
Okay.
Brawler's Bumble. Have you ever had to fight someone, or you've been in a situation where you needed to fight a bunch of people, or you wanted a bunch of people to come fight one person for you? Think of Bumble. We've all been on dating apps, right? We've all spit game, done whatever. Well, this is a way to contact people who are willing to beat someone up or fight with you. That way, you're never alone if you need to go to a fight and win one or something like that. So this is a way to form almost a gang for, not permanently, temporarily, but to win a fight or possibly have support if you need it.
How do you monetize it?
If you subscribe in the actual app, right? You can, as a person who fights, you can be paid for this service. You actually do have to pay to come along here. This isn't a simply free service either. It's a little bit of exclusive if you want someone to come fight for you and put their life on the line. So this is the best way to go about that. Now, there is a limit. You can only get 3 or 4 people to fight with you a day. If you're looking for a larger crowd, you're going to have to kind of buy up the bonus points.
What happens if they kill someone?
We're not responsible for anything after the deal is closed.
That's not how life works, but you put an army together with your service to go fight someone, and the guy ended up dead.
It's called employees or temporary contracted workers.
Oh, yeah. I've been sued for those people before. No. I don't know that I've given a firmer no on this show so far than that particular answer. So thank you, Jared.
All right. Well, since Jared's getting a little happy with that little button of his, I'm going to speak to him. This is called 11 p.m. Comfort and Love. After not bad, right? Love. We all need that in life. But after the Red Sox games, me and Jared, I think we've been in some dark places before. I've seen Jared resort to smoking cigarettes. Lots of cigarettes, almost too many. Sometimes all you need is a nice meal, a little comfort food, and maybe someone to comfort you as well. This business opens up at 11 p.m. and is open to 6 a.m. So, when everything else is closed, they're open. You can order a pizza, any of your fast foods. They'll be dropped off to your house during that stretch, but along with them will come a person who's there to comfort you and make sure you're okay throughout the night and be that support system you need.
This sounds like prostitution, Pat.
No, it's not. It's more like the cuddle buddy structure. But, if something happens afterwards, we look down upon that and would not send that person to that person's house again.
Yeah.
But it's the support. Sometimes you need to be tucked in and just, to go to bed at night.
Yeah, this is really borderline prostitution.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You're just opening it. Anyone who's in the prostitution game is using this particular service.
Correct. Like, you may not intend for it to be prostitution, but if there's a nice young woman who's like, oh, like this guy is lonely, he doesn't have someone in his life that can bring him dinner and needs comfort. I know what comfort means. Next thing you know, you are arrested for running a prostitution ring.
This is going to be a Las Vegas operation. It could work there.
So it's legal. Is what
technically, Pat, there's a lot of money in Vegas, I hear.
I've heard there is a lot of money there. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not something that I want to get my hands on, but no pun intended. But listen, maybe something that Jared wants to be a part of.
I can't think of a service that I would least prefer to use.
You don't want someone, after a bad Red Sox loss to bring you some food and rub your back and tell you it's going to be okay?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's a service that I personally need to pay for.
That's you.
Listen, there's you can make a ton of money in the sex game. And not just in the illegal way of prostitution. There is like those cam shows. Supposedly that's how that guy Andrew Tate made so much goddamn money. He was just hiring a bunch of women to go on these cam shows and making a killing, taking a rip off all the one. But it's not a game I want to be a part of right now.
Business is dirty. And if you guys want to make money, you need to be willing to step up here, okay?
Yeah, prostitution, hiring killers, and animal execution businesses is what I've been pitched so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's called pushing the envelope, okay?
Oh, you're
what number are we
pushing
on now? Is this 8?
Yep, this is 8 coming up.
8, okay.
Now, this is my most complex idea. There was some growing. I have a business partner in this one already. Shout out my boy Puff. This is Invantrix for humans. Now, I don't know if you guys have pets or anything like that. That's the heartworm.
This guy's obsessed with killing animals. It's crazy.
Nope.
Yeah,
this is the heartworm and the flea medication that keeps dogs safe and healthy. Well, think about it. What do humans suffer from? What's the leading disease that kills people in the United States? Lyme disease. Actually, a lot of people don't know that. So this is a way to save people. And as someone, I can put my hand up.
Anyone ever died from Lyme disease?
Many. Don't look it up, please. Let me finish my pitch. As someone who was attacked by a tick when I was in 5th grade during MCAS, there's a kid behind me in class, right? He saw a tick in the back of my head. I didn't feel it, but it was eating my brain. They sent me to the nurse's office, sculpted it out of my head, put it in a bag, and it had babies. Now imagine if those babies had infiltrated my brain and my entire body. I wouldn't be here right now. This medication would kill that tick right away and protect you. But this is for humans, so we're saving people.
Quick Google search. Can Lyme disease cause death in humans? Although Lyme disease is rarely life-threatening, delayed treatment can result in more severe disease. People who notice a characteristic rash or other possible symptoms should consult their healthcare provider. It looks like no one's dying from Lyme disease, unfortunately, Pat.
No, listen, and this is a bigger concern here. Him trying to go up against Big Pharma. So, I don't see a path of minimal resistance for us people and Pav, whoever your business.
Puff. His name's Puff. Please respect me and my partner.
Yes, Puff. Sorry, Puff. Whoever you and your business partner. Listen, I think it'd be great to make sure people who are not dying from Lyme disease continue to not die from Lyme disease. But I think that Johnson & Johnson might have something to say about us getting involved. What number?
Number 9. The phone stealing defense app. In a recent podcast, I spoke about my phone being stolen, right?
4 times, Pat.
In
Four
high school.
times.
4 times in high school.
4 times.
Sounds like Tyler was picked on in high school.
It's a little traumatic.
Yeah.
This does require 2 phones. It's kind of similar to Find My iPhone. If a phone is stolen, you just got to go to your buddy's phone, maybe your mom's phone. If it is stolen and you click the button in the app, the phone will immediately light on fire and start burning the person who took it. That way that they pay for what happened. You can't get the phone back.
Imagine Tyler just lost his phone at a restaurant and some nice good Samaritan finds it and goes to bring it back to him, and he's driving down the highway and Tyler sets off a bomb in this man's car, killing him instantly.
Listen, Samaritan. You need to be sure of what you're doing when you are using this app. It's expensive. It's $99.99 for this app.
I feel like a lot of people are not going to be sure. I feel like a lot of people are going to act drastically, especially individuals that have 4 times had their phone stolen. That 5th time, they're going to be looking to kill someone.
Yeah.
The pain you feel when you can't find your phone and someone else has it, this at least tells you whether it's their house, their body, something's being damaged here, and there's going to be a way to move forward.
I feel confident that I speak for everyone in this one that we're gonna pass on that. I just don't. Yeah, there are so many problems with that idea. I'm not even gonna dive into it.
He's a regular Timothy McVeigh over there.
Number 10. The name is being workshopped, so please do not judge it. It's more about the product.
Just let the product do the work over here, pal.
Being workshop.
The Tylers Teach a Lesson Special is what we're calling it. I don't know if you saw in the recent headlines, there was a man who faked his own death to prove to his family that, what it would be like if they died.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to do terrible things and conduct similar services, not just that service, but anything to, hurt a family member or basically teach them a lesson. I'll handle all the paperwork and everything, underneath so that, it's handled professionally and right. But I can traumatize anyone you are asking me to do so.
That feels
including
like
pets.
That also feels like a crime to me.
Yeah. So, quick question: have you ever done any of the paperwork associated with faking someone's death and hurting family members?
I've spoken to some lawyers close to the situation who are interested in a business system that resembles that and could be, willing to join us as associates.
Yeah. I think it's a very niche market again. I think pretty niche.
It's expensive. It's not cheap to do these things.
What are you estimating the cost would be?
We're starting with the revenue stream is likely in the millions, but the cost is likely billions to start.
Wait. How much would it, if Jared wanted to fake his own death, how much would you charge the man?
For Jared?
No. A regular guy. We're not doing family and friends discounts already on a business, okay? How much are you charging a customer to fake their own death and hurt the family members alongside it?
Non-celebrity $5 million. For celebrities, it is a larger project to get the deal done. It's likely closer to the 10s or 20s. But that's just the
type
start
of regular
of the cost.
Joe has $5 million, dude?
There's a lot of money floating around. As Pat, as a businessman, knows, there's a lot of normal people that are very rich.
But you're talking a very niche market here of people that just have $5 million in let's fake my own death. And
that's
also,
to start the conversation. That's not even the full cost, depending on how you want them to go out. Like a boat crash is going to cost boat crash money.
I think I think a good.
What is boat crash money, Tyler, for just the people that are unaware?
40 to 50 million easily if we're going to do this the proper way.
This guy is running a scam over here.
Well, all I'm saying is I have, kind of looked at all these business plans as different ways to make this happen. If you take the phone device and that light's on fire while you're on the boat, we can kind of say, oh, well, we're making money in two different, what do you call that? Two different streams of income, Pat.
Revenue streams, yes.
Revenue streams. And then they can say, oh, well, the boat just caught on fire due to this great product. The product will be in the news, my product. And, under the table, I'm making a lot of money as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no, let's get away from that phone on fire thing again. I'm not sure when that came back into the discussion.
I can also use my Brawler Bumble to bring associates to help me with this project.
Things we've already said no to, we don't want to incorporate into any other ideas. If we're a boat to whoever this boat thing is, if you're charging $50 million, how much does it cost you to do it?
Well, I know. Okay, no one's actually dying here, so I'm not super expensive. Likely in the 5 to 10 million range as well.
So it costs $10 million. We're going to charge 50, so we're going to have a $40 million profit.
Listen, great margins.
Listen, we only really need one customer, and all of us walk away with $10 million. Right. Listen, Tyler,
this is a mom and pop kind of business here. I'm not looking to make this something on the global scale. I'm just trying to help families out that obviously need some help.
So if you can pull this off one time, we're good. And we don't need the rest of the ideas.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to structure this so that they have to put down 50% to start, so which they have to put up $25 million. You're going to use the $10 million to do your little service there. Me, Jared, and Jake are going to put no money in, but we get a 25% cut each of us. And then you're going to use that $10 million. You'll be left with 15. They give you the rest at the end of it, and then you cut it up between all of us. Me, Jared, or Jake control the bank account, though.
I'm fine doing that. I don't mind handling the dirty work.
Okay,
that's right up my alley.
Yeah, so just let me know. Also, as far as insurance and liability concerned, you assume all of it.
So
me, Jared, and Jake cannot be held liable in any facet for anything that you do.
No.
You guys aren't gonna take care of me. What if something happens?
Well, you'll
and I
get $10 million.
No, we'll
dollars.
get you out. We'll get you out of jail.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get you out of jail. You just might have to go back if they find you guilty for something. But we'll bail you out with your. But of course, you got to give us access to the bank account so we can take out.
Yeah,
your
we'll
10.
bail you out with your money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep in mind nobody here is dying, so I don't know if I would be going to jail for a significant stretch of time. We're just faking it.
Yeah, but a boat is crashing. We got to make sure no one gets hurt. We got some liability. Well, you have some liabilities here that you have to prepare for. Again, us three will structure the whole process. You just take care of the crashing of the boat and the faking of the death. We'll be good. We'll take it from there.
I'm open to anything if you're willing to invest in this project.
Yeah, well, no. Remember, we're going to invest time. We're not going to invest any money. If 50%.
Pat, I need the money. This is a very heavy startup.
No, it's not. You find the customer.
How am I going to pay my employees?
Your employees aren't doing anything until they until they get a customer.
I think
This isn't about
really
doing the
need-
job. It's the marketing team.
I think I'm willing to put up 3,000 if Pat is willing to put up 3,000 because we're gonna need a cadaver. And I just saw on TikTok that someone donated their mother to science and then the military sold the body for $6,000 and they blew it up for fun. So $6,000 is the going rate for a cadaver. So we can have that on the boat to fake the death. Pat and I agreed to give you $6,000 to start this project.
I'm in.
I'm going to be honest with you. Part of the reason for the pet execution plan was to use the remains from some of those incidents as the way to fake the bodies in the incidents, blood, whatever it may be.
I don't think anyone's going to show up to the scene of a boat crash and be like, there's a bunny skull in here. Poor Cindy, she's dead.
Poor Cindy.
We
Case
can't find the
closed.
body. She
Case
was
closed.
just singed to death. And this must have been her skull. It looks a lot like a bunny, but Cindy, R.I.P. Don't look for her.
Yep, beats me. Must be it.
I'm willing to
This
use
must be
larger
it.
animals or bigger animals, multiple animals,
Multiple. Yeah, of course.
multiple.
This guy just wants us to pay him so he can kill animals. That's it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. It's a ruse.
All right. Well,
Thank you for
all right.
coming to my business call, my conference today, and I'm looking forward to meeting with investors.
Wow. Thank you to Home Depot for lending your theme song to the segment. Okay. So how many thumbs up did we get?
If we're not counting
One.
the first one, one.
Which
The
was
Top
the
Golf?
Top Golf. It's the only one that it didn't involve like death or nefarious acts.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the one to help humanity?
Which one was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Advantrix for humans?
But even no, it's not solving an actual problem.
Lyme disease is a very serious problem.
Yeah, but
No,
you're
it's
You know how many
only-
people you're offending right now?
No, you're only solving a problem that if Lyme disease was killing a lot of people, it's not.
Right.
Have you
Tyler
ever-
just sees that like the drug industry is very profitable and he wants to get in there for a non-life threatening disease.
Yeah, totally get that. Totally get that.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean,
Yeah, there's definitely money to be made.
We have the what's the generic version of Ozempic, which is a big deal right now. I'd be like, oh, listen, maybe we have a conversation.
Mhm.
But yeah, big pharma is gonna be tough to get involved with.
Yeah,
I
huge.
will say this does offer a similar thing where it helps you lose weight as well.
Oh, so you're
It curbs appetite
Okay, good.
and heart rate.
And heart rate. What else does it do?
That's it.
Okay, so it curbs heart rate, so you're gonna be it's gonna be down.
Yes.
Okay, and curbs appetite, and also simultaneously fights off Lyme's disease.
Calm, cool, collected.
Jake, what did you think?
0 for 10.
0 for 10.
Hmm.
I mean, if it panned out, I would love the boat crash, fake death Ponzi scheme that netted me $15 million for nothing. I love that idea.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to put up any money, and I hold no liability.
Well, no, $3,000.
I'm okay with 3,000. So
Yeah.
I put up $3,000, and I held no liability. Tyler has to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
I take home 10, 15 mil. I'm in.
Will this be via cash? You got Venmo? How are we doing this right
Probably cash. Yeah, we don't want any paper trail.
No, yeah, no.
now? Well, I'll be expecting the money at some point soon.
Yeah, you should
Well,
be
you-
expecting a ton
We're
of.
in the midst of our first project currently.
Yeah, you should expect a ton of paperwork from both of our attorneys before you get any
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. You also need a subject. You need someone that needs to fake their death that's willing to put up $50 million to do so.
I wouldn't have started this business if I didn't have people reaching out.
Okay. Tyler's just going over to like Silicon Valley being like, hey, do you want to disappear?
I got the product for you.
Yeah. I have a great service.
By chance, do you have Lyme's disease? Because we could do a double whammy here.
They all overlap.
Do you have Lyme disease? And that dog seems to be barking a lot.
Listen, I'm just saying. That was fun.
That was a good segment.
Great segment.
Good segment on this baseball podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How are the Red Sox doing?
They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Oakland A's.
We're not in last though, right?
No.
Yankees are.
Yankees are. They don't win ever anymore.
That's
Poverty
tough.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
That would have been a nice series to sweep because then they'd be 3 up on New York?
On Tuesday, every single team in the AL East plus the Astros lost.
Yeah, that was a big misfire by the Red Sox to not do more damage against the Oakland A's of all teams.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate.
Yep.
What can you do? Patrick, anything else that you have to give your punishment to Tyler. What's his punishment for picking a sweep and ruining the series against the A's?
Oh, so here's the thing. I didn't know what I was punishing him for.
So he was suspended from predicting sweeps because whenever he does, the Red Sox either get swept or they lose the series. And it's usually against like a really bad team, which is why you would pick a sweep in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So he picked a sweep against the Oakland A's, which again, illegal. Like, all the ideas that he came up with were also illegal. So his punishment is in your hands.
Well, listen, I'd love to hear from the gallery here, from yourself and Jake on your thoughts on possible punishments that you guys were kind of milling around here with.
I got a great idea.
Let's hear it.
So Tyler's never been to Green Rock.
Okay.
So Tyler would love Green Rock because it's a big time party environment and Tyler parties. Loves having a great night out with the boys, as we know, as you've seen. One of my favorite things about Green Rock, is that these guys don't give a fuck about the cost of napkins. There are, over the course of the night, they hand out stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of napkins to people that are just like, yeah, motherfucker, throwing napkins in the sky all night long that are just getting stepped on, beer poured on them. I'm sure people, Pat, at some point, someone was drunk enough to just take a piss right on the floor. People are pissing all over the floor of that bar. So I think it'll kind of be like a reward and a punishment. I would like to be there to give, at some point, Tyler Milliken his first Green Rock experience. We take him to Green Rock. We show him a great time. But then at the end of the night, Tyler is responsible for picking up all the napkins.
I love it. I'd like to do it, and hear me out here. I'd like to do it in your guys' off season, which would be, if we do it in October, and depending on what the Red Sox do, that wouldn't be off season, but it would be primo time and the maximum amount of napkins. Not only that, the pod is followed well down here. If we made this publicized throughout the evening, obviously we'll have a heads up. I will make sure excess napkins are purchased. We'll really get after it. I don't see any reason why this should be. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an exceptional idea, actually. I mean, listen, let's tie in something else, Pat. Okay.
Like, this goes back to the tattoo that I just got on my thigh because I lost rock, paper, scissors to Kyle Freeland. So I had to get the tattoo on my leg.
Yeah.
I beat you in rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. And what I was supposed to get was my jersey framed and hung up in Green Rock. So we can do a jersey unveiling ceremony presentation with speeches and guest appearances. It'll also be a name redacted, not watch party because it'll be the off season presumably, or maybe the Red Sox. Maybe we do it. Maybe we try to do it if there's a weekend series in the Bronx. Maybe we just do like a watch party. We're just there. We're hanging out. It's some sort of name redacted watch party jersey unveiling ceremony where Tyler has to fulfill his punishment by picking up all the napkins off the floor at Green Rock at the end of the night.
I can't envision a more perfect Saturday night or Friday night for me.
Mm-hmm.
As the person who's being victimized here, or maybe I'm not being victimized. I'm just paying my crime.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is in the hands of you great what's the word, administrators.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be intoxicated, heavily influenced while I'm picking up these napkins, or am I completely sober?
No, that's up to you. You just have to maintain some semblance of sobriety to be able to complete the task. Because if you had to complete the task the last time we had a watch party, you were physically incapacitated.
I think I could have picked things up. I know they wanted me, they were asking me to leave at one point.
And
but I think if I had worked hard, I could have,
under no circumstances would you have been able to do anything of value to anybody at that moment in time. But here's the other thing, which you're not aware of. Now, I'm pretty loose with my money. I like to spend money. But you, at that point, are in my home turf. I don't have to pay for my drinks there. You think I buried you at that place, at whatever Cask and Flag, and I will. You might die. We would have an ambulance on standby just in case, because you'd be in a really tough spot.
Bad shape.
Yeah, really, really bad shape. So, and are we, just for clarification purposes, are we making him sweep them all up and then put them in the trash?
No, by hand. No, by hand.
By hand.
Do I get gloves?
We'll decide.
Depends on your attitude.
Yeah.
How often do people piss on the floor, Pat, if you don't mind me asking?
Listen, people don't come up and tell me, so I'm not 100% sure on that polling. Listen, here's what I can tell you, is if you have to pick these up by hand, you are going to be there well into the morning. You're going. It's not a big place. It holds the maximum occupancy is about 237. Not an enormous location, but like the bar closes at 3 a.m. And that's when the cleanup starts. I don't envision a scenario in which you're out of there prior 8 a.m. if you have to pick this up by hand. We've had you use leaf blowers before. We do like the sweet, in the gym, this middle school gym where they have that one big thing. They just go and do the dusting. We've done that. Like, it's going to take you a tremendous amount of time to complete this task.
Would people be watching me, or are you guys
the whole
just going to
staff
sit there and record me?
The whole staff's going to be there.
Cheering me on.
I don't know about that. Here's the thing. Name redacted fans will try to take care of, try to help them stay in the bar after hours to kind of get a nice little visual of it. It's illegal, but we'll see what we can do. My staff's going to have no fucking clue who this random gentleman is that's having to pick up the napkins by hand. So they're going to be a little confused, so they probably won't be cheering you on. But listen, it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a great time.
It's going to be great.
It'll be great.
That's one option. Is that the only option? Do we have any other potential punishments? Okay.
That is it. Yep.
Yeah,
Jake, maybe you'd like to step in if you feel this is unfair or not right.
Or not right.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
It's harmless. And listen, maybe we'll cut a deal with you. Maybe there's for every correct series prediction that you get from here on out, we give you 15 minutes with a push broom.
Wow, that's not bad.
I'm going to cut that to 5.
Okay.
We have too many series going in the future. We have a good amount of series left in this season.
Well, he never gets them right.
Well, okay. Well, maybe we'll figure it out. We'll be flexible, but I think we start at 5, maybe even 2.5. Because again, you got to remember, it's not a big place. So with a broom, you're getting in a good spot here. If he makes like 2, it's not going to take him more than 30 minutes to probably sweep the whole place, and then he has to put him in. But by hand, it's going to be a much more considerable amount of time. So yeah, let's start at 5 minutes and let's see how he does.
Okay. 5 minutes is fair.
Yeah.
And you also have to consider, Pat, he's banned from picking sweeps. So one of the options is eliminated for him.
That's true. Very true. Also, let's keep in mind if he continues to fuck up, we got to at minimum 3 more bars that we can make him clean up in the same evening.
Yep.
And then
So that's if
get
I fight
after it.
back or I'm not willing, or I can't get the job done if I'm maybe too intoxicated.
You should see what Pat's grandmother does to Big Sam Sushi. She fucks that place up. So just keep that in mind.
It's not often, but it is often enough where I get a real kick every time. Like, I won't even be engaging on Twitter. There'll be something else popped up, and someone will be like, "Yeah, well, Pat's grandma back at it." Always get a good laugh. She has no idea. She doesn't even know what Twitter is.
No.
But it's always get a good laugh out of when people make fun of my
she has
grandma.
no idea that her good name has been sullied.
Not even a little bit. Good times.
Great times. All right, then it's settled. We'll be doing a name redacted hangout. It's not a watch party. It's not a live show. We'll just be there, and you guys be great if you guys came out too. In Hoboken, New Jersey, at Green Rock. How do you like the name for the bar that we're going to buy together? How do you like Red Rock?
So I like it. There is a Red Rock already down
Where?
here. It's in a town called Red Bank, and it's my partner that in Green Rock that owns it. But
Or he should license it to us.
no, we won't have to pay him.
All right, I was just going to say for free. But
Yeah, no.
we're getting the name with permission for free.
Yeah, he's gonna. I bring him into every deal that I do, so he'll be a part of the deal. So he'll love it.
Perfect.
I'll
Love
be
that
joining
process.
this venture as well.
We'll see.
You guys are in on my other businesses, so I want to make sure we are all working together on multiple projects.
This is a business.
We'll get to crash in that boat, dude.
Yeah, it's actually gonna make money. So, sorry.
I'll prove you wrong, Pat.
Okay.
You got any pets?
Nope.
That's a shame.
Do you want one?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I keep my phone handy and don't worry about it lighting on fire.
Yeah, keep that phone right in your pocket.
Uh-huh.
Well, anything else? I know you're a busy man, Pat.
I got a dinner this evening. It'll be a nice dinner. Nothing crazy, but yeah, nothing to report outside of that. We're doing great things, guys. Doing great things. Happy to be back on the pod for a little bit. We should do this more often.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it the other day when we were on the phone. I was like, listen, you don't have to come for the whole episode. We're just happy to see you. If you want to come back for 20 minutes, just pop in, just see what's going on in the world of Pat Light. You know, it's the door's always open for you.
Yeah, honestly, I want to before I leave. I want to make sure I set the record straight because Jared asked me to listen to the episode that you guys were talking about why I left, which I never really told anybody. I told Jared a little bit, but the record, just to set the record for everyone back home listening to this, I left because my good friends kept asking me to come on a podcast that I had to continuously turn down, and I felt bad. Props to Jared, Jake, and Tyler. Not that Tyler would. It'd be weird if Tyler peer pressured me, but they never gave me shit. They're like, okay, no problem, not an issue. So they never pressured me into coming. It just felt it was my buddies. I was just constantly saying no to. So I felt like I needed to move on. But I do miss talking to you guys. So it's I'll be back on. I like the setup now. Like, we come on every so often, do a little 20-minute segment, yell at Tyler, and then I can go and enjoy my evening.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it.
Mr. P Dog.
Whatever works for you works for us, Patrick.
Yeah. He just called me P Dog.
Yeah. It's like my I have a lot of people. J Dog knows what's up. Well, that's my boy right there. Yeah, it's a nice little term of endearment.
Both J.
Huh?
His name's Jeremy, and he fucking hates being called that.
Oh,
He's our backup Jake when Jake can't show up.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
Yeah.
this has been great. Really enjoyed this. I enjoyed more of my time with Jared and Jake. And Jake, by the way, I've seen that background before, but it looks lovely. I don't know where you are, but it looks fantastic.
Appreciate that, Pat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything for you, my friend. Come up to Boston soon. We'll have some fun. And
When?
We were talking about this on the phone. I'm trying to shoot for sometime in August.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, have a little fun. Get up there. Have some, scope out some properties, right, for Red Rock.
Yeah.
And blackout Tyler so he doesn't remember me even showing up.
Perfect. I would love
take,
that.
Yeah, I should take about 2, maybe 3 Jameson shots and then be done for the evening.
Also, we're still in talks for doing an actual live show this summer. I mean, have to have you there for that as well. Yeah,
got to do one.
Yeah,
Yep.
where are you planning on doing it?
I mean, Kowloon is always the number one choice, but I don't know if they're booked for the summer. They have something going on there every single night now. So if not Kowloon, then I don't know. We'll shop it around.
All right. Well, listen. I love Kowloon. I haven't been back since the live show we did out there with Hubs and Company.
Mm-hmm.
But listen,
they won't be there for this one, I don't think.
Doesn't seem like they would.
Mm-hmm.
But the pro to the not be, if we aren't able to do it at Kowloon, the pro to it is be maybe a little more convenient in Boston. So
yeah,
that could
for
be
sure
fun too. So
yeah, let's do that.
A lot of positivity coming out of this podcast. I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to keep going, but enjoy the rest of your guys' evening.
Thank you, Patrick. It's good to see you.
Bye, Pat.
Bye, Patrick. That's Patrick James Light. You can follow him on Twitter at Pat_Light. Great guy.
Fantastic.
One of the best. Just like Knockaround's one of the best. Summer's in full swing. You need a pair of great shades that you don't have to break the bank for. Knockaround Sunglasses is the go-to for quality polarized shades. They're super affordable for anyone looking to get a nice quality pair of shades. And they just released the first 9 teams of their official MLB collection. Yes, they have the Red Sox. Yes, they have the Yankees, as well as official U.S. women's soccer team sunglasses. So you can add a little something extra to your game day outfit just in time for sitting out in the bleachers at Fenway Park. Don't be the person that's squinting into the sun or worried about getting sand on their overpriced sunglasses. Check out knockaround.com for great looking polarized shades starting at just $28. Shout out to Knockaround. All right. What do you want to finish on here? You want to do some news and rumors? I see. I don't do the whole like random so and so person is like hearing something blah blah blah. I don't do that. Like that doesn't raise any alarms for me. I don't there so far. Like yes, there's been people like saying like, oh, I heard something. I don't put too much stock into that whatsoever.
I think this picks up where we were right before Pat came. The Red Sox, they're in a spot. Sam Kennedy said it again today. The next couple series, they mean more than, any other games this season, quite clearly. It's going to determine how they go about things. And I think what people need to realize and what you were kind of saying is the line is very thin. That's a quote from Eddie Romero the last couple days. The reality is if they can keep right around where they are, I think the biggest buy you're going to see is a Rich Hill type pitcher, plus maybe a relief arm, plus maybe, either a relief arm that's like a Hansel Robles that you're giving up almost nothing for, or a middle infielder. But I think that's even pretty unlikely at this point. It seems like they're looking at relievers and a back end starting option that you can use as a raft to the point, a Houck, Whitlock, Sale, whoever's ready. Sale's going to throw another bullpen this weekend. We know. Then it's live BPs and then a rehab. So it's trending in the direction we're going to get Chris Sale back. Like that's what it is. I'm not telling you to depend on him or get excited here. But for the people that, there's some people that after this stretch are like, they need to buy. We need that big move. I think most likely you're going to be disappointed unless they can pull off a kind of piece that gives them years of control. I think even if they do that, then there's a chance they may be more aggressive in other ways where a Paxton gets moved or something like that. It's really going to depend over the next couple of days. And I think if Chaim gets the offer he's looking for, if someone's willing to go nuts over a James Paxton who is making so little money, it's a third of his $4 million salary for the season, there's a fair chance he bites on it. He may replace it with another option. Maybe he holds on to Paxton and there's an extension, but there's a lot of different pathways to go here. There is. It's just at the end of the day, they don't view this team as a World Series contender, so don't expect them to treat this deadline like it, or you're going to be incredibly disappointed.
No, and I don't want any rental type guys. Like you mentioned, like Michael, I don't want Lorenzen. I don't want anyone that's up at the end of the year. Like last year, how it's like, oh, we traded for Tommy Pham. And I love Tommy Pham, but like if you're gonna do anything, get me pieces that are gonna be here beyond 2023. I don't give a shit. Like, I'd love to see Rich Hill back. That'd be great. Whatever. But I'm just not interested in anything that isn't for the future. Like, I don't want pieces that are only just for 2023. Like, what does that do for me? Like, what does that do for the organization right now?
I think where it becomes interesting, like something like Rich Hill's going to cost you nothing, right?
Nothing.
Like it's going to cost you nothing. It's just to fill the gap. It just comes down to whether they feel like with this trade deadline and everything that's going to play over the play up over the next couple months, can you just give them a raft to get to the point where they can get healthy and compete? You're not making the team significantly better. You'll put it in their hands, but you're also not selling to the point where the clubhouse feels absolutely defeated. You're in a similar position where you were last year, where I do think that relationship with Cora and Bloom, Cora seems over the last 10 days or so to be more, away from the comments of it's very black and white. We know what it is to, hey, like we're looking at it and we're saying like all that matters is October and whether you can get there or not. You got to walk that line. It's a very hard line, but that's where I can see them kind of walking and saying, all right, well, we're going to get you a couple basically depth pieces to help you survive because you have, an opener starting every 5th day. You're going to be playing a lot of games consecutively again. This is for you so you don't drown. You're giving them a fair chance. It's not saying we believe in you in a big way, but it's also not saying like white flag to the utmost level.
What odds do you put at the Red Sox making a surprise move?
Probably like, what would you consider trading Paxton a surprise move?
No, I mean, in terms of the return. Well, I guess that doesn't necessarily. Yeah, I guess like trading Verdugo would be like a surprise move. Like, I don't foresee something like that happening. I mean, more for like the return. Like, oh, okay. Like, didn't see that guy coming in.
I'd say probably like 15 to 20%. I wish I could say I was more.
That's like higher than I would have said.
Yeah, I think there's moves you can make to go get a controllable piece. It just depends on what you're willing to give up. All I'm saying is like, if you're really hoping to contend next year, I bet there's something, a York, a Rafaela, for the right piece. Like, look at your rotation going into next year. There's a lot of question marks. If you can find someone, even if you move Paxton, that's a controllable piece moving forward, that changes the conversation. I do think there is going to be some sensitivity, though, to the point where they can say, like, hey, we can get through the deadline and everything here. Paxton will get us a comp pick. Look what we turned Roman Anthony into. And we can leave this narrative that surrounded us where Andrew Heaney and where Zach Eflin turned us down. This place doesn't come off like someone that's just going to, sell you off or whatever it is. They are going to give you a little help and they'll leave it up to you. Because you do have Kenley Jansen and Chris Martin speaking out in recent days and kind of saying like, we're not asking for the world, but just a little bit of support. Give us something that can hold us until the real help comes in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Am I being negative Nancy for like, I know the Red Sox have a winning record and they're 2.5 out of the wild card. Like, I'm not throwing in the towel in the season. I still think that they can make the playoffs. I'm just saying I don't want to go for it at the trade deadline.
You should not be trading anything, no matter what, from your top 10. No matter what, you're not going over the luxury tax. Like, you're just
unless you're bringing something in that's going to be here for the next 4 years, something like that. Then yeah.
I don't even think the luxury tax is worth that, because if you go over it this year, then you're going to need to get under
No. I'm not saying going over the luxury tax. I'm talking in terms of like a big move. It's like, yeah, you bring in a guy that is not going to put you over the luxury tax, but usually if you're bringing in a guy that's under team control for the next 5 years, he's not costing you more than $1 million right now.
Do you think, what would you put the odds of James Paxton being moved at this point?
Like 57%.
It's not crazy. It really, do you think they're at the point where these games actually matter? Do you buy that quote, or do you think they already know what they're going to do?
I think that barring anything drastic, right? Like the net, what do we get? What do we have? Like 2 weeks? It's
not
2
even
weeks. 2 weeks from this past Tuesday.
Yeah.
2 weeks from this past Tuesday. Like, I think that they would have to go drastically in one way or the other to be like definitively on one side of the fence or not right now. Because you always leave the door open for that, right? Like, what if
they lose 7 out of 8? It's like, all right, this is pretty obvious what we got to do here.
Yeah.
But if they go and win the next 7 out of 10,
8 out of 9, and then fucking Houston loses 6 out of 7, and the Yankees continue to slide, and it's like, oh, okay, like we're in it, and like we're feeling pretty good about this spot. Like, let's, so. But that's just, those are aberrations. Like that, like that's quite the long shot for all those things to line up the way that they are. It's not to say that the Red Sox can't make the playoffs. I need to double, triple, quadruple down on saying that. I'm not saying the Red Sox can't make the playoffs this year.
The reality is it's going to be a combination of buy and sell. I think, a Duvall, one of the lefty relievers, most likely, because they are becoming a little redundant with Brendan Bernardino. They're so left-handed right now because of injuries as well. But, a Duvall, that, and then maybe, if you're really going in, it's a Paxton. If you maybe try to walk the line, could it be a Pavetta? And then you're bringing in a relief option to kind of help you, or a Rich Hill to say, you're just going to go start out there every day or every fifth day, and we'll call it that.
Jake, how do you feel about the trade deadline? What would you like to see the Red Sox do in terms of approach?
Yeah, I feel like it's just super dependent on these next couple of weeks. Like before we lost 2-3 to the A's, I was like, I want to make a run. But if we're going to lose a bunch of games in a row, I don't want to do that, obviously. So yeah, we'll just see what happens here in the next 10 days or so.
What's the latest update on Chris Sale?
So he threw up the first bullpen, went well, going to throw another Sunday. Then it's 2 live BPs and then a rehab assignment.
So that sounds like fucking 3 weeks?
Probably. Call it mid-August, right in that ballpark. Maybe a little towards later August. Trevor Story starts his rehab assignment tomorrow night. That's a couple weeks. It seems like they're going to keep him down there for a stretch. John Schreiber's back Monday.
Okay.
Whitlock just started playing catch, and Houck's probably a week away from getting off the mound.
Those are legit pieces.
The people who get upset at anyone saying that, those are huge pieces. We'll see how much you get out of them. They may completely crap the bed on you or offer you nothing. But the reality is, adding those players to a team that, for everyone who was sitting here when Whitlock went down, it was like, how are you going to tread water? They've done much better than tread water. The Oakland series is very disappointing, but they've done beyond that. They're swimming. Yeah. It's like you add those pieces, anything can happen because the Yankees are a dumpster fire. It won't, Aaron Judge is going to come back and we'll see what that means. But the Astros, they're going to get Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve back. I think you're just, as we've said, if I had to bet, am I going to tell you they're going to make the playoffs? No. Is there a way where everything breaks right for them and they do? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, those are I, in the past, have detested the whole we're not going to do anything at the trade deadline because getting Chris Sale back is like trading for an ace. And it's like, yada, yada. But this time around, getting back Chris Sale, John Schreiber, Tanner Houck, Garrett Whitlock, and Trevor Story, come on. That is like getting back a haul of really good players that in their absence, you've been able to keep a winning record and been within striking distance of a wild card spot. So while I would like to see this trade deadline, I would like to see a move that is made for the future of this team instead of hey, we're going to, give up some really good trade assets for a guy that's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. That's what I don't necessarily want to see unless they cost a couple slapdick prospects that no one's ever heard of. Not even prospects, just minor leaguers. I wouldn't mind that at all. But this is probably the first year where that's not bullshit, being and Heim hasn't even done that. Heim hasn't even said we're not going to be super aggressive at the deadline because, we're acquiring these 5 players around the same time as the deadline. He hasn't even tried to give us that bullshit speech. But even if he did, I would be yeah, I agree. Imagine a team acquiring Chris Sale, Trevor Story, John Schreiber, Tanner Houck, and Garrett Whitlock at the trade deadline. You'd be holy fuck, this team's going for it. They just acquired 2 pretty good starters, an all-star shortstop. Chris Sale, we don't know what Chris Sale is going to be when he comes back. I'm not going to sit here and try and sell you on Chris Sale. I'm not going to try and downplay it either. When he was healthy this year, he was fucking awesome. But I can't, and he can't, no one can tell you, yeah, when he comes back, he's back for good. Who fucking knows? Who knows what he's going to be performance-wise? Who knows how long we got him for? That's the reality of the situation. I hate that that's the reality of the situation, but that's just how it is. So I'm not putting a ton of stock in the return of Chris Sale, but Schreiber, Houck, Whitlock, absolutely. Trevor Story, absolutely. And Chris Sale, once again, is your bonus. We'll take whatever we can get type guy.
It was always about, could you survive until Trevor Story came back? That's what we said at the beginning of the year. Then you'll see if you go from there. They're only a couple weeks away from doing it. Trevor Story is playing fucking baseball games in 24 hours, playing affiliated ball. So you've gotten to this point. It's just, I think what it's going to ultimately be is something that's not super satisfying one way or the other. It's just going to be minimal additions, minimal deals away. And they're going to kind of be somewhere in the middle where they're saying, hey, we're going to give these players a chance. We're not going to, try to ruin the clubhouse dynamic or anything like that. But we're also not hurting our future whatsoever. We're going to open up time for our younger players. And, that kind of is what it is. We're going to leave this year as a building block and hope that they can take it as far as they can go. But it's about the next couple of years. It'd be great to go get that controllable piece. It's just they're not super easy to deal for. And usually they're pretty expensive. But you got to do something with some of these guys eventually. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if I tell you they win 5 out of the next 6, I think we're all sitting here and saying, yeah, like you're going to go get those couple pieces. It's all about the next couple weeks or next 10 days.
I really have to see, and I know this sounds stupid. I got to see what the vibe is when Story comes back. Like things can just change where it's like, you add a guy here, you add a guy there. Oh, Chris Sale's back. Trevor Story's back, Schreiber's back, and things are just falling into place. And if you get a Whitlock or a Houck back, and it allows guys to get pushed around in the rotation to where, we're doing the stop and shop look ahead, and we don't have to say that it's the fucking, another spot starter here or another bullpen game here and a bullpen game there. So we'll see. I'm not giving up on making the playoffs. I think we have to be realistic about championship expectations. I don't think anyone listening to this has championship expectations, but I'm just talking in the sense of the trade deadline and what the approach should be, what they should be doing.
Do you feel like losing 2 out of 3 out of the A's, like if they had taken 2 out of 3, are you in here feeling a lot different than you do right now? Not marginally, really. But are you more on the positive end? Are you like, oh yeah, like let's see where it goes. Maybe Paxton getting dealt is less than 50% in your eyes.
No, because you're talking about the difference is just one game, really. Like if they win that last game, it's like, oh, I'm just happy that they're playing well. I think like Houston's performance kind of like changes things. Like the fact that they're not like if Texas and Houston were just a dogfight at the top of the AL West, and then you're sitting there being like, oh man, like Houston might be a wild card this year, but they're still going to be a tough team or whatever. It's just you're setting yourself up for failure by trying to go all in to make it to the playoffs this year. I mean, Houston seems beatable. They have a fuck ton of injuries, especially on the pitching side of things.
But I think the other thing is those teams are going to be willing to push more chips in than you are. And that's the other half of this where the Blue Jays, they're going to get better. Like, they're going to push chips in. This is a competitive year for them. The Astros, they're already on the market, talking about different guys. People are saying they could go get Dylan Cease. I think John Heyman called him their white whale.
Baltimore?
No, the Astros and Dylan Cease. So okay. Do they go and they kind of push some prospects in and go get that guy? Maybe. And then you're like, holy shit, the Red Sox are not on the scale of any. And I think that's what we're going to feel like, oh, a lot of these teams the Red Sox are competing with, for those last couple wild card spots, they're, being aggressive at the deadline. The Red Sox are kind of treading water and saying, if it happens, great, but we're not mortgaging anything here because it's about next year.
Well, something to keep an eye on. Whether the Red Sox go on a run or they don't, or they just keep, doing these win 6, lose 5 and so forth, which is basically what they're going to do. Like that's what they've been doing all year is, they'll play great baseball. They'll play shitty baseball. And it almost to me, I don't know if it feels the same way to you. It probably does. The low points have felt lower than the high points have felt high.
I don't know. I will say the vibes on Red Sox Twitter the last week or so heading into this series, even like the Nick Pivetta night, have been pretty fucking high. But yeah, the low points feel as bad because, with the way the Red Sox are right now, people are negative. There's a negative tone on them more than usual. So when they do suck, even when they lost the series to the A's, it felt like everything the last couple weeks got undone. Did it not? And the reality is it's like, all right, like you said, you throw that loss. Maybe they lost that game. They took 2 out of 3 in the series and they lost an extra game the first time they played Oakland, right? And it was just 2 out of 3 instead of a sweep. And you look at it differently. The reality is they've been one of the best teams in baseball for a good stretch here. I'm not going to act like that's who I think they are, but if they show up against the Mets and you take 2 out of 3, then you got the Braves and you do it, the narrative is going to keep flipping back and forth. But I think those are the other things to keep in mind here. The Mets, yes, they've underperformed. They could show up for any series. That's the reality of it. The Braves, good fucking luck. The Giants, that's a fucking serious task too, you know? And
Giants
those are the
playing
games.
really good ball.
Yeah, those are the games you're playing up until the deadline. And then you run into the Mariners who are kind of fighting to stay alive like you are. You know, they're in a little bit of a worse position, but
the Mariners are not good. They should be, but they have not been good. Yeah, they jumbled up the rotation, right? Yeah, we'll get into that. Nick Pivetta starting one of these games?
Did they name him the starter or is it a bulk, I thought?
He's probably, yeah, it's probably like a Bernardino type deal. Anyways, this stretch that the Red Sox are in right now, I don't want to call it crucial because that sounds dramatic. I think it's important. It's important that they play good baseball because it would just be nice for Chaim Bloom. It would be nice to at least see them make the playoffs. Like, I think that you need to show progress because I think it's going to be so insufferable this offseason if the Red Sox don't show any year-over-year improvement. Like, there has to be improvement, right? So
I think, to me, like, if you're in the conversation the last week of the season, that's progress to me.
yeah,
That's
I
telling
agree.
me with a young core, those guys took the necessary steps this year. Bloom showed once again he can build a team that, you know, doesn't have World Series aspirations. He's below the luxury tax, but he's showing he can build a competitive team. It's 2021, except you don't go on the ridiculous run. You made it in on the last day of the season. If they get eliminated with 3 days left, I'm like, all right, it's not as successful as 2021, but that was everything going right. This is just a pretty similar outcome, and you're hoping 2024 is a lot different than what you built up to in 2022 when you thought this window was opening.
Yep. You want to look ahead?
Let's do it.
The Stop and Shop look ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop. Use the promo code section 10 to get 10 cents off your order of tangerines if you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop, which Dallas was just mocking us the entire series, mocking poor Jake, who just got out of the hospital. What a piece of shit Dallas is. Jake
Mean-spirited.
literally stared death in the face, battled, got out of the hospital, and now has to deal with Dallas mocking him and our tangerines only at Stop and Shop, promo code section 10. Classless is what it is. He is classless, but God has punished him enough. Look at his face. Look at his fucking hair. Ugly. I think TC had the adjustments to the pitching matchups here. So they're flipping the starters for Friday and Saturday, extra days rest for Paxton. So the updated matchups. Friday is Cutter Crawford. That was supposed to be Paxton. And then Paxton is going Saturday. That was supposed to be Crawford. And then Sunday says TBD, but that's going to be Pivetta. So you've got Cutter Crawford versus Kodai Senga and James Paxton versus Max Scherzer. And then Nick Pivetta versus Carlos Carrasco. So Kodai Senga, 7-5, 3.20 ERA, 126 WHIP, 11.5 strikeouts per nine. The Mets have been a disaster this year, as you guys know. No one's been talking about Senga quietly putting together a very solid first season in the United States. His FIP is 3.87, in part because of the 11 home runs that he's allowed. He's going to walk some guys. He's walked 4+ batters in 7 of his 17 starts and 3+ batters in 11 starts. Most of his control issues were earlier in the year. They've settled since his last 5 starts. Start by start here, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2 walks per start. He's been particularly dominant in his last 4 starts, 2.22 ERA, 2.72 FIP. The Mets are 1-3 in these games. Jesus Christ. The righty comes in with the hard stuff. He's got 95.9 miles per hour on the fastball, an array of off-speed pitches. He loves the forkball, and he should because it's really fucking good. A 118 batting average against, an 085 expected batting, a 140 slug. 60.1% whiff rate. Holy shit. Batters only have 2 extra base hits off the forkball all year. They were both doubles. The average exit velocity is only 77.5 miles an hour. That is fucking nuts. He'll get his strikeouts, 87th percentile in K rate, 7 starts with 8+ strikeouts, and only has 3 starts all year where he has failed to reach 3 strikeouts. The Mets are 9-8 when he pitches and have lost 4 of 5. He's never faced the Red Sox, obviously. Cutter Crawford opposing him in game 1. Cutter, 4-4, 3.74 ERA, a 1.13 WHIP, and a 9 strikeouts per 9. He just continues to get the job done. Now sports a 3.04 ERA over his last 5 starts, averaging 5 innings per start. His last start against the Cubs was the best of the season. 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. He hit a batter, got the dub. He has 17 whiffs, which was not only a season high, but also a career high. His previous career high was 15. Recently introduced a sweeper, and it's been real nice. In the Cubs game, 7 swings and 6 whiffs on his sweeper. He's only thrown it 58 times, 5.5% of all of his pitches, but hitters are 2 for 20. Both hits being singles, 11 strikeouts, and a 51% whiff rate. You got to be throwing that more, Cutter. And I know you're listening. Throw the sweeper more. Red Sox are 7-11 when he pitches, 5-5 when he starts, 4-1 in his last 5, and he has never faced the Mets. Next up, Max Scherzer. You know who Max Scherzer is. Everybody knows who Max Scherzer is. Is he finally showing signs of age? I don't know. In his 50 and 2/3 innings, actually, no. His 1.7 home runs per 9 is the worst of his entire career. That's where you want to start. It's the homers. The 4.43 FIP is also the worst of his career. That's worth noting. The ERA on the whole year, 3.99, a 1.18 whip, 10.2 strikeouts per 9. So you look at that and be like, all right, that's solid. It's not Max Scherzer, but it's not a dumpster fire. But he's already allowed 5 more home runs this year in about 50 fewer innings than last year. So the home run ball, something to keep an eye on in this start. His 10.2 strikeouts per 9 is his worst since 2013, a year in which he won the Cy Young for Detroit. He's not the innings eater that he used to be. He failed to complete 5 innings 3 times, has only pitched in the 8th once all year. He has 5 starts with 5+ earned runs. Still an incredible pitcher, though. First 2 starts of July, 11 innings, 11 hits, 9 earned runs, 5 walks, 16 strikeouts, 5 bombs. His last start, 7 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. I believe that was against the Dodgers. The biggest change from last year has been his slider. Last year, opponents hit 183 against the slider, 276 this year. A 232 slug last year, 605 this year. 46% whiff rate last year, 32% whiff rate this year. In 2022, he's allowed 7 extra base hits off the slider all year. All were doubles. In 2023, he's given up 8 home runs off the slider already. Bad. 11-6 when he pitches. So they're still winning, despite the homers and the damage. Red Sox hitters are 224 with a 746 OPS against him. Duvall and Devers have the homers. JT, 4 bombs. 4 bombs off of Max Scherzer. James Paxton, 5-2 at 3.51 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, 10.4 strikeouts per 9. Had his worst start of the season his last time out against the Cubs, and some of the underlying numbers, Tyler, are concerning. 6 of 8 balls in play were hard hit, and 3 of his pitches gave up an average exit velocity of 96.6 or harder. For the season, he's averaging 95.6 with his fastball. In this game, 94.7. If you're an executive of a team that's interested in trading for him, stop listening, please. The only other time all year he was below 95 was on June 24th. His 4 walks, let's call them free passes, 3 walks and 1 hit by pitch, is a new season high. In his previous 10 starts, he had only exceeded 2 in a game 1 time. Paxton also has now allowed 3 home runs in his last 2 starts after only allowing 2 in his previous 6. Still some good takeaways, though. The whiffs are still getting still pretty high. He got 11 on 36 swings, and on the cutter, getting 4 on 7 swings. Paxton also loves pitching at Fenway. Some pretty big home road splits. 4 starts at home, a 2.05 ERA, a 1 whip, and 11.5 strikeouts per 9. On the road, 7 starts, 4.38 ERA, 1.05 whip, and a 9.7 strikeouts per 9. The Red Sox are 5-6 when he pitches this year. Mets hitters, 325 with a 400 on base and a 575 slug. Lindor 2 for 11 with a double, 523 OPS. And then in the series finale, Carlos Carrasco got to win this one. 3-3 with a 5.35 ERA, a 1.45 whip, and a 6.6 strikeouts per 9. Yikes. 13 starts, 13 home runs allowed. The whip is the worst since 2013. The walks per 9, the worst since his rookie year. 6.6 strikeouts per 9, the worst since 2013. 2.4 worse than last year. He's allowed 4+ earned runs in 6 of 13 starts. Randomly, he went 8 innings with 3 hits and 4 strikeouts on July 6th against the D-backs. He's allowed a home run in all but 2 starts. His fastball fucking sucks. 92.5 miles an hour, 337 batting average against, 640 slug, 16% whiff rate. Changeup, still very good. 135 average, 189 slug, 33% whiff. Just don't swing at the changeup. Mets are 6-7 when he starts. They won all of his starts in May, lost all of his starts in June, and have now won all of his starts in July so far. Red Sox hitters, 231 with a 754 OPS. Justin Turner, 1 for 4. That one is a home run. Then Nick Pivetta, assuming Bernardino goes first. Since moving to the bullpen, as we talked earlier, 2.31 ERA, 52 strikeouts in 35 innings, 124 batting average against, 452 OPS against, 13.4 strikeouts per 9. That is 4th among qualified relievers. To add to this, as a starter in 40 innings pitched, he allowed 9 home runs. As a reliever in the 35 innings, he has allowed 9 earned runs total. Whew. His velocity also been fascinating to track. His last start, he averaged 94.3 miles per hour. The only 2 relief appearances in which he did not top that velocity were his first 2. In his last outing, where he set the Red Sox record for strikeouts by a reliever, he averaged 94.9 miles per hour, which would have been his second best starter velocity of the year. Like Cutter Crawford, he has also introduced a sweeper, and it has been similarly effective. Opponents are 1 for 9 with 4 strikeouts, a 164 expected batting, and a 41% whiff rate. He has used it occasionally early in the year, but in his last 4 appearances, it has been used consistently as his 4th pitch. The Red Sox are 12-11 when he pitches, 4-4 when he starts, and have won 3 of 4 when he is used as the bulk guy behind the opener, which is what we're probably going to see here. Mets hitters, 359. Yikes. An 1120 OPS. Brandon Nimmo, 0 for 8, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Okay. We've got Cutter Crawford versus Kodai Senga, James Paxton versus Max Scherzer, Nick Pivetta versus Carlos Carrasco. Prediction time. Jake, how do you feel about this Mets series this weekend?
Yeah, I don't care how well we've played over the last 3 weeks. If you lose a series to the Oakland A's, you're getting reverse swept. So
wow.
I'm going reverse sweep.
Respect.
Wow. 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 That's a statement. That's a statement. And honestly, I appreciate that. It means you still care. And why wouldn't you? Red Sox are still very much in it. Tyler, what do you got with your suspension?
I'm going to go 2 out of 3 here. I think the way Rob Refsnyder spoke after the game, who, shout out to him, becoming quite the leader in that clubhouse when certain people have not stood up. But just saying, we know what this game means. We know all these, this moment right here, we're deciding what's going to happen and what it meant to lose to the A's and how impactful that was. It seemed like they took the message pretty seriously. I expect them to show up against the Mets. Don't feel great about that upcoming Braves series, but seems like whenever the Red Sox have taken one of these big punches to the face, they've kind of woken up a little bit and given you a reason to have faith. I think they kind of show up in the series and get the job done enough. The bats can't be as bad as they were the last 2 days. And I don't care about that last game. The A's made 4 errors. Still an awful day from the bats.
Terrible. Terrible.
Against the worst staff in baseball by more than half a run.
Which game are they going to lose?
I'll give you... I don't love saying this. I have a feeling that they lose that James Paxton game. I think Cutter is starting to make some strides as a starter. Nick Pavetto's on this ridiculous run, and you're facing Carlos Carrasco. Feels like the Red Sox offense would fall asleep against Max Scherzer, even though he's not having the greatest year.
Wow. Okay. Oh, fuck. Man, the Mets suck. They're 44-50.
7 games out.
I'll say this right now. I want to go 1 out of 3 with them winning on Sunday, the Pavetta game against Carrasco.
Can I tell you why I like them winning the Kodai Senga game?
Why?
4.6 walks per 9. I think for this lineup, they work. They're tough at bats. There's someone who can kind of take advantage of his control, not always being the best. And I'm not crapping on the guy, but the FIP's 387. That ERA is a little bit deceiving. I think they can get to someone like him, and things can catch fire a little bit there, especially with the offense being sleepwalking for the last couple of days.
I think I'm going to go 2 out of 3, but I think they do lose the Senga game. I think they go loss, win. Yeah. I think they go loss, win.
What's the story of the series, Jared?
The story of the series is James Paxton pitching into the 8th inning and everyone being like, we kind of got to trade him now. I feel like we got to trade him now. It's the story of the series is going to be James Paxton just absolutely shoving it up the Mets' ass, and everyone coming out of the series being like, how do we not sell high right now?
That would be very 2023 Red Sox. Just a heads up, Scherzer is also coming off his best start of the year. 7 shutty against the Dodgers.
That's what I fucking said.
Did you just say that? I'm sorry.
Yep. Jesus Christ, Tyler. You just lost 5 minutes of broom time.
I'll take the punishment on the chin.
When's the next time that we do the lottery, Jake?
Next episode.
All right. What's today?
Thursday.
Today's Thursday? Bro, I thought today was Sunday. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I don't fucking have days off. Like every day is Monday. I don't get a weekend. I don't get a fucking... haven't had a day off since March. So every day feels like Monday. You could tell me it's fucking Tuesday. I don't know. No idea. I wake up, I do podcasts, I go to bed. I eat pizza, I go to bed. Do a podcast, do a show, pizza, go to bed.
Sounds like you need some 11 p.m. comfort and love.
Yeah, I do. I'll invest.
Hit me up.
I will. I'll invest.
Jake?
Probably not.
Okay. Jake's takes?
I just really hope Tyler goes 0 for the rest of the season on series prediction, so he's got to pick up all those napkins with his hands.
Yeah. I guess final thoughts that people are going to be like, how the fuck didn't you talk about Brian Bale? How didn't you talk about Brian Bale against the A's? I'm not worried about it. It's the fucking A's. It's one bad start.
He didn't have a clunker since the Angels.
It's a fucking bump. He's a rookie. He's not a veteran that you paid $40 million a year to come in here and be an ace. There's going to be hiccups. Am I worried about it? No. The home runs, that like, if the home run trend continues, then yeah, I'm going to be like a little bit like, all right, well then how do we fix this? I don't think it's going to be a case of, the league has adjusted to him, so he has to adjust back. I'm not concerned about the home runs. Like he had actually started off with the home runs and then he wasn't giving up any home runs at all. And then he has one start against the dog shit team where he's giving up a bunch of home runs. If it continues to be a pattern, we'll talk about it. But for like just one start, I'm not worried about Brian Bale at all.
I'll throw in, the four-seamer against lefties seems to be what continuously leads to these homers. I do think that's something they need to kind of alter with his pitch mix. But what are they doing? He's implemented the cutter. That's the whole point of it in the first place, so they can start to work around it. So I understand last year they hit like 370 off of him off his four-seamer. This year it's like in the mid 200s. They know it gets hit hard. They're trying to kind of change things, but yeah, not every start's going to be elite. I'm sorry to tell you that, especially for a kid his age. You're asking too much. Same reason I'm not flipping out about Pax's last start.
Yeah, I mean, Bayo set the bar really high. So you kind of get comfortable and you start throwing around ace. And first it started with, well, he's pitching in the 7th inning every single start. And then he only goes into the 6th and you're like, oh, fuck, he's regressing. It's like, no, he just went 6 innings and got the win. Like, he's nasty still. He has a bad start against the A's. Oh, fuck, blah, blah. Like, you can't do that. If it becomes a pattern, if it becomes a trend, you address it, you fix it. But one start against the A's, no sweat. Not worried about it.
The game you should be mad about is that middle game where you held them to 3 runs on a friggin' bullpen day and you still couldn't get the damn job done.
Correct.
That's where you're mad. Yeah,
getting
Bayo
shut
has
out by the A's is one of those games where you're just like, you know what?
Be better.
That can't happen. That's where you lost the series. Not the game where Bayo had a clunker. You lost the series when you got shut out by the fucking Oakland A's in the middle game. So, all right, Tyler, any final thoughts?
Yeah, Ceddanne Rafaela tearing it up since getting promoted to AAA, 294, 342, 574, 916 with 5 jacks. Great. Awesome to see him swinging it. He's gone back to his original plate approach, being aggressive. Still, the underlying stuff, 18 Ks to 1 walk, has me very nervous. That kind of approach is not going to work in the big leagues for a long period of time. Still not in love with it, but he's hitting. I would be floating his name at the trade deadline.
Excuse me?
I would be floating his name at the trade deadline for a piece that you can get for multiple years.
Whose name?
Ceddanne Rafaela. Him and Nick York. Their names I'm willing to discuss.
Wow.
I just think Rafaela is closer to a Kike Hernandez type than he is to people throw out Mookie Betts. That's just ridiculous. But I think the ups and downs of his bat at the big league are going to be extremely volatile.
Mm.
And if Jarren Duran is who Jarren Duran is, changes the discussion.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Coley's going to be pissed when he hears that, but
I think even Coley's come around a little bit on that. I didn't hear much fight last episode when we brought him up.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to find out. Maybe next episode we'll get Coley back.
Gotta walk more.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the return of Pat Light, the trial of Tyler, and dissecting the Oakland A's series. That was very disappointing, but I think we kept it about as light as we possibly could have. No one was upset. No one was mad. We're not screaming at the clouds. The show goes on. It's on to the Mets. And we'll see what happens this weekend.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Thank you, Tyler. We'll see you then.
Buenas noches, amigos.